Okay, very good day and very welcome. Today we'll discuss about understanding of zero liquid discharge. Simply we can say what is the liquid discharge or the another concept why we are going for discharge and why we are opting this liquid discharge or zero liquid discharge in terms of what type of concept exactly why this is important and what is the significance in industry and as well as in our domestic life, not only for industry generally is also sustainable practice for the domestic purposes, and another one is zero waste. So we'll focus on those things. Today's objective is to cover the zero liquid discharge, to understand everything about ZLD and legislation in India, and how we can achieve and what type of new technologies are there for ZLD, how we can achieve and what type of drawbacks, challenges, issues, etc., advantage, benefit, etc. We'll discuss all these things. And we have some class exercise also, and we have some case studies of various industries like sugar industry, pharmaceutical industry, etc. So if you have a pen notebook, then you have to just be ready with that. If you want to take part in the session, then that's better for understanding. I'm just starting this. So everyone means aware about the term ZLD. Many people are now talking about ZLD, zero liquid discharge. And sometimes this term ZLD, or we can say this phrase ZLD, zero liquid discharge, is confusing with some other term of technologies. Like some are saying that ZLD is a type of technology. So here I am just again saying that ZLD is not a technology because technology have one type of unit. This is a integrated system because this system has components, has some units. Like if you are aware about this ZLD can be achieved from installing ETP, installing MWE, like that is known as multiple effect evaporator, either second stage, third stage, fourth stage, whatever you need, multiple effect evaporator. And also many other technologies are there. Reverse osmosis, of course, required when you have some TDS in water. Then reverse osmosis or electrodialysis. Many things are there you can utilize. So these type of system has component, some different components. Like in case of if you are talking about ETP, then ETP has different technology. Reverse osmosis, or simply we can say the purification or water treatment plant, effluent treatment plant, and evaporation. Three things, three components are required to achieve ZLD. So this is an integrated system. Here we need to install three components minimum. Otherwise, we can take more like incineration. If you have a hazardous waste incineration facility in house, then you have to install fourth system. So this any type of system or any type of component, any process or combination of process by virtue of which there is no liquid effluent discharge from your premises, discharge from the industry, that system is known as zero liquid discharge. And again, you should know about the rainwater, storm water is not included under this ZLD or zero liquid discharge. So this is exactly under this 3R system. 3R system is very old, of course. Now we are following 5R, but under 5R reduce, refuse, that means refuse, etc. That is not coming under this generally. Here we need to recycle, we need to reuse, we need to reduce. So under ZLD, we need to follow three things that is known as reduce, recycle, and reuse. Here I am just means clearing one thing. There are three terms. Reduce, I think you are knowing, you are aware, you aware about that. Reduce means we are just minimizing the application of raw material application or utilization of your fuel, utilization of anything. Then the waste minimization will be there. That is reduction or reduce. And recycle and reuse, these are very means closed term and very thin line to differentiate here. Recycle means after treatment, and reuse means without treatment. Only this is the concept if you are making some effort to utilize the water, not only water. In case of ZLD, there is water. When we are talking about ZLD, that means we are talking about the water, the wastewater exactly. Means any effluent, any type of wastewater generating from your industry is to be recycled, reused, or reduced under ZLD. So under recycle, we need to install some type of technology like ATP, MWE, incinerator, reverse osmosis, etc. to recycle that wastewater or that treated wastewater, right? So that is known as recycling. And in case of reuse, without treatment means we are not treating, without, we are not making effort to treatment to means we are not even using any money for treatment, and without treatment we are reusing for any other purposes or same purposes, then that is known as reuse. So we need to understand all those two things, what the reuse and what is the this is recycling. So these two components are most important thing to understand here. And this generally is under the way water minimization hierarchy. Why this? Because we are going to means under this not only in India, urbanization and industrialization. These two things are increasing very rapidly. Here you can see we are just consuming, in case of urbanization, in case of under industrialization, we are depending on the fresh water. So the freshwater consumption is high, means it is increasing day by day. So the regeneration and reuse of water should be there to for sustainability. Because anything, whatever is the natural resource is the limited. If you have 1 liter of water, then how you can consume in 1 day, 2 day, or 1 year? Then immediately you will means manage like by 1 ml, 2 ml, 3 ml, or something like that. But when we are taking free as a granted any type of natural resource, then we are exploiting and we are just wasting, or we can say we are draining the water. Some leakage are there, we are not caring of that water. So due to this only, water scarcity is there. Drought means you must aware about the drought prone area in India, of course. Sometime, okay, it may be due to the your system. I think device you are using computer or some laptop. Then you have to just use mic, so that will be there. Okay, and then after regeneration and reuse of water under ZLD, direct use or outsourcing of fresh water will reduce. And then what will the impact? Fresh water source, because if you are just using the fresh water more and more, then fresh water reduction will be there, water scarcity will be there. So the fresh water source elimination will be there. So for that purpose only, ZLD is the sustainable practice by which we can achieve this type of goal, major goal, to save, yeah, to save the this water scarcity. And also there is some guidelines from the government side. So a government is also taking precautionary all these things that the industry has to opt ZLD. Here you can see one simple scenario of ZLD, like how we have to go for ZLD, zero liquid discharge. That is the basic means flow diagram. Here you can see this is one textile processing house, that is known as dye house. So under this dye house, raw effluent means without treatment. Effluent is, of course, effluent, influent, it is the same one, that is the wastewater from the industry. Okay, and after this pre-treatment means bar, screen, and grit, etc. Collection tank. So that is pre-treatment, or we can say the component of ETP, effluent treatment plant. Because there is some type of TDS, high TDS, then RO plant is also required. If RO plant is there, then what will happen? Your permeate will be there. Permeate is the recovered water, whatever means we are getting from the RO, the reverse osmosis, that is the permeate, and this permeate will use in processing, right? And some water like 5%, 10%, sometimes 50% is the reject water, or we can say the high concentrate, high salt water, brine water, something like that. Brine is the high concentration of salt. So that water is known as reject, RO reject, and that cannot be treated in ETP. ETP has only one limit. They can reduce BOD, they can reduce COD, They can reduce other organic component, but they cannot reduce the TDS. So for TDS, we need to install the reverse osmosis or electrodialysis or some other nanofiltration, ultrafiltration, many things are there. So you have to install that type of technology to remove the TDS only. And this high TDS water or salt water can be evaporated using evaporators, that is known as MEE, multiple effect evaporator. So from the evaporator again, you will get two things. One is the condensate, and some one is the recovered brine, or simply we can say the salt. And that salt can be reused and can be otherwise they can be sent to TSDF. TSDF is the means disposal site where your salt can be burned, incinerated, and the residue can be go for the biological treatment under this. If it depending on the type of characteristic of that effluent, so it can be goes for manure also. Like if you have here, you can see. I am just showing 2 3 slides about the component, real component, so that you can understand who are the new in this field. So these are the ETP. ETP is the effluent treatment plant, and here you can see the reverse osmosis. We have RO in our house, that is known as domestic RO, and these are the reverse osmosis are known as industrial RO, right? So from this, because in case of industry, we need a huge water. And the last one, you can see two photographs are there. These are the multiple effect evaporator. Here you can see the four stages, four effects are there. Here you can see the five effects are there. So it depending on the type of your concentration, how much concentration you have. So in this slide, you can see the complete ZLD system, means they have three things: the ETP, RO, and the incident this MEE. Means whole complete ZLD system has minimum three component. Apart from that, incinerator can be can be optional if you need for to install the incinerator, because incinerator is very costly. So you can install. Otherwise, this is you can send your other hazardous waste to the TSDF site. So that is optional, depending on the cost whatever you are incurring. So under this means how this ET means generally has been started. So everyone knows about the industrialization is very necessary for the country's growth, of course, because without this we cannot achieve anything. Even for our means laptop, for this mouse, for anything, whatever we are using in the house, in the organization, in the institute, so that is coming from the industries only, manufacturing industries only. And these manufacturing industry, they need some raw material, they need some fuel and manpower. These three things are required, and after this three major three things, they need to convert the raw material into the product. That is one manufacturing activity known as, right? During this manufacturing, a transformation of raw material into the product. Here three like any type of solid waste will be there. Three waste are there: liquid, solid, and gas. Gas means the air emission. Liquid means the liquid effluent, your water effluent, water, wastewater. And solid is the hazardous waste or any solid waste. So and some from your burning of the fuel, so air emission will be there into the air, like particulate matter, SOx, NOx, hydrocarbons, VOCs, many other things are there. Under NOx 2009, we have 12 parameters, even arsenic, lead. So all these parameters, all these air emission means from your stack, from your process even, seven oxides of nitrogen are there. So these are of course poisonous, or we can say the pollutant, air pollutants that can deteriorate the air quality. And some if you're generating hazardous waste, that can deteriorate the soil quality. If you are generating wastewater, that can deteriorate the water quality. So increase in the industrial development has elevated water consumption, because everything is dependent on the water only. For that purpose, and every day the water consumption is increasing day by day. If you can calculate, so water consumption, so immediately you can use your pen and notebook. We are about 142 crore people in India, okay, and more than 7 billion in all the means all the planet. So you can calculate, and if one person requires 140 liter, not 140, if you can means you can calculate by using 100 liters only. If you are using 100 liter per day per capita, then you have to multiply by 7.1 billion, then immediately you will get how much water we need daily. This is for the domestic purpose only. If you need to calculate for industrial purpose, then we need to go for specific industry, because specific industry requires differently, right? So for that purpose only, ZLD is required, because ZLD is exactly sustainable practice first, ideal practice second, and it is remarkable effort, because there is some government agencies are there, and now we are also under legislation. So we need to follow this practice to sustain the life on the planet Earth, because without water, life cannot be sustained. And these generally are attracting greater interest as beneficial water treatment or water management solution for difficult to treat industrial wastewater. We have different technologies. We have very high technologies by which we are using, like electrodialysis, etc., RDI, Emerald technologies, etc. So by using this type of latest technology, we can easily means achieve the generally objectives. So a well-designed zero liquid discharge system is used to minimize the volume of liquid waste or wastewater that require treatment. And we need two treatment minimum. One is the wastewater treatment, that is known as effluent treatment plant. Another is water treatment plant. Water treatment plant is like if you have only water with TDS, then RO is a waste treatment plant, right? And ETP is the effluent treatment, or simply we can say that of course it is same type of effluent treatment plant. So the common generally approach is to concentrate the wastewater through further crystallize to a solid. If you have any type of carbonic salt or any type of COD in the wastewater. So this technology initially developed for the power plants in USA in late 70s, in early 70s we can say, in 1969 exactly. So when because in the power plant they are using saline water, so for from the saline water they need to means recover the water, because in saline water the sea water have high concentration of salt. So in the color Colorado River in the USA, they need to create ZLD system after recovering the salt from the seawater. They are using that under desalination. And first ZLD was initially started with only 100 to 450 meter cube per hour. Per hour means in 1 hour only. Based on the evaporation and crystallization, it was very low cost pond. It is type of pond using evaporation and the reverse osmosis result, because reverse osmosis or we can say RO result have some salt or brine. So for that purpose, the pond evaporation pond was there. There is natural evaporation to achieve the this crystallization. Because in case of salt pan, if you see the salt pan, what is the mechanism of salt preparation? The high salt water is just harvested into the field, open field, and due to the natural evaporation, the crystallization is there. So due to the crystallization, this evaporation, the salt is remains on the means in the field, and water get evaporated. So in that mechanism is also initially they have started for this ZLD to achieve the ZLD, because high salt water there is no type of technology for evaporator or some type of multiple effect evaporator. In Germany, there is very stringent regulation in early 1980 for the ZLD system, that is for especially for coal fired power plant. When there means in Germany, ZLD is there, but for the coal fired power plant only. And this is now means after some time this achieve a very good attention from every country. Now thousands of evaporator or concentrator or crystallizers are there around the world, and it is spreading widely to water scarce region, because they know about the importance of water. They are just using, like in case of, you can take example of Singapore. If you see, they are just started from means from toilet to tape. That concept will show in the later slide. Here in India and of course in China, because China and India has is a similar population, approximate 140 and 145 crores. So where the population is means very much population is there in these two countries. So the amount of water, daily water requirement is of course very much. So for that purpose, we need to take consider this Gedaldi technique. And yeah, some facts are there. And in case of Geraldi, there is recovery is about 90%, and reuse of salt will be there in the different mechanism, different industry, and also this Geraldi meets some regulations, regulatory norms. Can you see my screen? Can you type in the chat box? Okay, okay, very nice. So, these majorly brine concentration, evaporation, crystallization. These are the technology for the means brine discharge, and this generally also providing appropriate means we can say appropriate technology like increasing membrane life and also maximize renovated water recovery, that is known as permeate recovery of salt water for reuse, minimize the quantity of reject, and minimize the operation and maintenance of reject management, RO reject management, and also disposal of mixed salt. Sometimes we can recover the salt and that can be utilized in the process, back into the process. High operating cost and financial impact on industry in time of sometime because if you have a high COD something, then high cost will be there for operating. And Indian scenario, if you see the Indian scenario in 2015, government issued a draft policy that require all textile plant generating more than 25 meter cube is KL, right, kiloliters, or we can say 1000 liter. So 25,000 liters of wastewater if they are generating, then they need to install generally facility or generally system. And in 2008 in Tirupur, Tamil Nadu, 29 dyeing plants in 2008, they have already implemented this generally system, which recovered not only water but also valuable salts. And these salts are processed in, means they're reused in dyeing process. So this type of technology is already in frame. And nowadays, generally market in India valued about approximate $50 million. And in this market, the textile, brewing, distillery, power industry, petrochemical industry, these are means in this type of industries, major application of this Geraldi. And here you can see how this has been evolved in India. So since 2002, Supreme Court directed a polluting pharmaceutical industry near Hyderabad to pay farmers 4,000 per acre annually between 1992 to 2002 due to loss of soil fertility from this pharmaceutical industry only. So this is the compensation to the farmers only. And in 2006, in Tamil Nadu, High Court order mandate ZLD for dyeing, bleaching, and tannery, including the distillery. This is as per the High Court order. There is no any type of legislation from ministry, but High Court has issued the order that dyeing industry, bleaching industry, tannery, and distillery, they need to install ZLD facility. In 2008, in Andhra Pradesh, High Court again order in this Andhra Pradesh that means generally is required mandatory for 12 large pharmaceutical units around Hyderabad who are discharging more than 25 KLD. And also in 2010, Tamil Nadu government and central government has enforced one scheme for subsidy to install this ZLD about rupees of 320 crores. And in 2010, in the same year, in Punjab Pollution Control Board in Punjab, they mandate ZLD for 8 large electroplating industry in Ludhiana. And in the same year, also PCB and this PCB, Punjab Pollution Control Board, assisted more than 500 small electroplating units in Ludhiana for setting a CETP with ZLD, complete ZL system. And in Rajasthan, in 2014, Rajasthan government declared a capital subsidy on zero liquid discharge based effluent treatment plant equivalent to 20% of amount paid to the suppliers for plant excluding civil work are that is subject to maximum of 1 crore. So this type of schemes are there. These type of schemes are there from the government side, by which this generally now generally is mandatory. And under this generally, this can be worked in two way. How many? One is water consumption versus wastewater reused, or we can say recycled. And second basis is corresponding solid recovered means the salt recovered in term of percent total dissolved solid or suspended solids in the effluent. So generally have two basic basis only. One is the water consumption versus wastewater, and another one is the ratio of recovered solid or recovered salt. Here you can see how we can do benchmark. So here you I think you understand now that ZLD process, ZLD system. So this is your wastewater, right? So we need to install the ETP, or simply we need to minimum three system is required. One is ETP. Second one is MWE. If you have a high COD, of course, because without installing MWE you cannot achieve generally, because you need to have everything you need to recycle in the premises only. And third thing is the WTP. WTP, that is reverse osmosis ultrafiltration, right? So here you can see the wastewater goes for first pre-filtration or pre-treatment, then chemical treatment will be there. If it require means biological treatment, tertiary treatment, then you can go for the tertiary treatment. And after that, after tertiary treatment, if you have sludge, of course sludge will be there. So filter press, after using a filter press, your dewatering of sludge will be there. And after dewatering of sludge, you can go, you can send this sludge to the TSDF site. And after recovered water, treated water from the ETP, you need to send this this water to WTP. Here you can see the two stages, ultrafiltration and RO filtration. Yeah, it is mandatory. We'll come on this how this is mandatory, right? And this RO, after RO, recovered water, that is permeate water. Permeate water can be goes for the process, or for the means your industrial process, or whatever you are going to use. And the concentrate, or we can say the reject. This can be go for the brine concentrator, and then crystallizer. And here this is required when you need to recover the salt. Then the brine concentrator and crystallizer is required. And after recovering the solid, this you can utilize in your process whatever type of salt you are recovering from your wastewater. So here in this say in the process, you are recovering the salt also, and you are recovering the water also. And some water, if you are means if you have multiple, if you have better, some losses will be there. So that losses can be means make up using the fresh water. And now we need to go for we need to calculate the cost of that water, in how cost can be attributed to ZLD. Like here you need to understand, one is the capital cost, another is the operating cost. So what energy, how much energy you are going to utilize, like 2500 kilowatt per hour for 1 meter cube or 1 KL. And what the equivalent CO2 emission for generally, that is you need to also calculate carbon footprint, you must have, right? And the cost, like 20 rupees per meter cube, or means the what is the treatment cost. Treatment cost will be not only your capex, it should also calculate the opex. First you need to calculate your in how much year you need to this, what is the life of this system, generally system, 2 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, depending on your supplier who is supplying this subsystem, ETP, and adequacy. And after complying, you need to calculate, this can be calculated already by the supplier only, because they have this type of figures, like 20 rupees per meter cube, 19 rupees, even sometimes it is very less than 10 rupees. So it is whatever is the less, you can go for that, but you need to also check the life of that generally system. So how this generally is defined means, the particular definition, it is given by CPCB. Here you can see, generally it is the absolute recycling of permeate. By CPCB, it was released in, yeah, of course, it is very less. Sometimes it is coming less than that, but depending on the type of characteristic type of effluent you have. If you have the effluent very means having a high COD, then this cost goes up, goes very high. Many times it goes 100 rupees. So it purely depending on your type of permit, your type of concentration of parameters, chemical characteristic of that wastewater, right? And as per CPCB, it was released in 2015, January 2015. So here they have defined what is ZLD exactly. ZLD is absolute recycling of permeate within the process, within your system, within industry, and converting solute into the residue in the solid form by adopting method of concentration and thermal evaporation. Evaporation it should be thermal, or you can achieve by different methods. There are a number of methods are there. So this generally will be recognized and certified based on two parameter, whatever we have already discussed in the previous one, like water consumption versus wastewater reuse. How much you have recycled or reused, and then second parameter is recycled permeate and corresponding solid recovered. So this generally can be imposed to the industry like having high COD and BOD, and color coating effluent having metal, pesticide, other toxic hazardous constituents, etc. And also you must aware about ZLD is exactly, and now as per MFCC, like here you can see in this slide, MFCC on 9th August 2018, they have issued one office memorandum that ZLD is mandatory for few sector, like here you can see the iron steel plant, aluminum smelters, refineries, thermal power plant, a mandatory use of treated sewage for power plant cooling like CEA, and petroleum refinery, petrochemical complexes, distillery, pharmaceutical industry, dyeing industry, and also CETP. So under this sector, ZLD is mandatory, right? And as per MPCB, here you can see some notifications, some as per this state pollution control. They have also started following the same system, and after 2015, so every state pollution control board has also, they have prepared guideline, and the guideline can be utilized by any person in the state to achieve the ZLD, and they have also elaborated how this can be justified, how this is feasible to install, and some suppliers are also there. So, and as per MPCB, Maharashtra PCB, ZLD means 100% reuse of treated wastewater for main plant use, and utilization of treated industrial wastewater is restricted for gardening and green belt. Usage shall be scientifically justified somewhere. The means treated water. The treated water can be utilized. Means if you are going for ZLD, then you can utilize the waste treated water for any purpose, like industrial purpose, for dust separation, for gardening, for floor washing, for drum washing, any purposes. But it meets the guideline, it meets the criteria, so you can utilize. And as per Tamil Nadu PCB, here you can see they have released one guideline in 2017, in December 2017. They mandate for all chemical process industry, that ZLD is mandate for all chemical process industry, stand alone dye industry, textile industry, tannery industry, and all CETPs, petrochemical industry, distillery, automobiles, and also manufacturing industry. And here you can see for power plant, means for power plant including CPP. CPP is the capital means captive power plant. Here new plants to be installed after 1st January 2017 have to meet specific water consumption up to maximum of 3 meter cube per megawatt per hour, and they need to achieve the zero waste water discharge, or ZLD. So that means, can you see, right? So this, as per the means, this is for only, yeah, okay. This is for the captive power plant or thermal power plant, whatever they are using. Either this is standalone or captive power plant. Captive power plant is for the only industry, they can utilize all these means power in for their captive use, right? And here you can say, for as per the Telangana state PCB, they have mandate for this generally for red and orange industry, which is located within the outer ring road. They should adopt ZLD, and expansion of existing red and orange industry within the outer ring road shall be permitted with ZLD unit, and other industrial area are developed outside outer ring road. So that is the one notification from Telangana. state. So this is in this type of scenario, every state has different type of notifications to achieve the ZLD, to follow the norms. Here you can see the CPCB has again redefined the definition of ZLD, and also they have another guideline for utilization of treated effluent for irrigation under ZLD. So here recycling and reuse of wastewater as far as practicable in order to minimize the freshwater consumption and discharge of wastewater into the environment. And this wastewater, treated wastewater quality requirement for irrigation, they have set the criteria like TDS should be approx 2100, and SAR, sodium absorption ratios should be less than 18, and the application rate based on the pollutant should be assimilative capacity of the soil as per the assimilative capacity of soil, and there should be comprehensive irrigation management plan. Then you can utilize this water, treated water, in irrigation purpose, also in nearby field. So here you can take one example, treated wastewater utilization, like one conceptual model. Here you have one means like one facility, one premises is there. So different means concentration are there. Like TDS about 500 kilogram per day you are using in the plants, because you are adding salts during manufacturing process. And here in means in case of water, the concentration is about 100 ppm. So TDS is 100 ppm in water, wastewater or water. So we need to remove this. If you are going to use TDS, I mean to reduce the TDS, then you need to use RO, reverse osmosis. If you need to just remove the means chemical constituents like BOD, COD, and other organic component, then you have to go for ETP. But if you need to go for ZLD, then you need to install both the system like ETP and WTP. WTP is the reverse osmosis or ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, etc. So that wastewater can be recovered, or treated water from the ETP can be recovered, and that can be utilized in irrigation purpose if meeting the requirement as per the CPCB. And here some environmental liabilities due to utilization of treated wastewater for irrigation and plantation, because if you are going to follow this type of system, means as per ICER, here the guideline for utilization of treated effluent for irrigation, which is released on September 2019. So if you are going for this, then there is environmental liabilities. Then in that system, increased sodacity of soil, making soil unproductive. So for that purpose only, here you can see these sometimes this type of scenario may be created due to the irrigation, means the treated wastewater to be utilized in this, because sometimes this parameter is not fixed. Otherwise, if sometime this happens about the assimilative capacity of the soil, they're not ready to means taking this type of salt, then this happens. And due to the utilization of this type of treated wastewater, that increased heavy metal concentration in the soil, and also pollutant concentration in the soil and groundwater, leading environmental liability under the EPA Act 1986. And the CPCB guideline has in this system we need to submit the remedial action plan, and this remedial action plan or damage action plan should be for assessment of contamination site, remediation of contamination site, and also you need to pay if this type of issue is there or happens sometime. Then you need to pay that natural resource damage and compensation